Give me your eyes that I might see the blind man kissing my hands. The sun is humming, my head turns to dust as he plays on his knees, as he plays on his knees. And the sand and the sea grows, I close my eyes, move slowly through the drowning waves, going away on a strange day. Give me your eyes that I might see the blind man kissing my hands. The sun is humming, my head turns to dust as he plays on his knees, as he plays on his knees. And the sand and the sea grows, I close my eyes, move slowly through the drowning waves, going away on a strange day. Give me your eyes that I might see the blind man kissing my hands. The sun is humming, my head turns to dust as he plays on his knees, as he plays on his knees. And the sand and the sea grows, I close my eyes, move slowly through the drowning waves, going away on a strange day. Sorry, I just learned this about 5 minutes ago and I never heard the song before today, so that last line I forgot. I forgot to read it. Anyway, so good to bloody see you again. It has been so bloody long. Congratulations for making it this far. For many of you have not. Since January 25, 2025, that is, many of you are no longer here. And it mattered not, be ye American citizen, illegal alien, foreigner, Iranian, Venezuelan, soon Cuban, be ye farmer or cityman. Many of you are no longer here directly because of the Reich or directly because of your bloody choosing the Reich. You've made it to World War III. Congratulations. And what is so funny, I heard a clip today of Donnie from back in the day that if you elected him, he wouldn't start any wars and he definitely would not cause World War III. I had forgotten he said that. I knew he promised no wars, but the man specifically said, goddamn World War III! And when Donnie says he's not going to do something because he's so bloody smart and wonderful and responsible, it somehow always ends up happening. So when I heard the goddamn abomination, the beast in fucking self, say, I'm not going to start World War III before the election, I just saw the clip again today, I said, oh God, he did not say that out loud. Lord, did he? For then it is granite. Then it is a nail through your fucking hand. Guaranteed. Cunts. Thank you. Wasn't planning on saying any of that. Wasn't scheduled. But you rubes and the greedy, and the criminals and the rapists and sex traffickers who all love this. You inspire things, I must say. Spur of the moment epiphanies, if you will. God damn you. Now let me find the beginning of the presentation. This is Tony the other day, the clip I was talking about, the Truth Social Money Laundering post the other day. This was days ago. 3/7 days ago. Donnie woke up. This is 6:11 a.m. First thing in the bloody morning. Right after a few bumps of Addy. Iran, which is being beat to hell. And hell is in all caps because, Donnie, that's what Donnie's about. Literally, he's a fucking antichrist. And again, son, you don't got to believe it. Irrelevant. Care. Whether you care, irrelevant. Whether you agree, irrelevant. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm laying the paradigm on you. Acknowledge it, accept it, whatever, till the flood comes. That's how much time you got. And from what I'm seeing, I'm thinking that the flood coming, 3-4 years, under a decade, like Brother James says. Again, my assessment sooner, because I really feel a sense of urgency, but none of us are God, are we? Let us continue. Iran, which is being beat to hell, has apologized and surrendered to its Middle East neighbors and promised that it will not shoot at them anymore. That's the first sentence, son. That's the 7th. What's today's date? I don't even know. 11th something? I don't even fucking know. It's all a goddamn apocalyptic blur to me. Opening sentence, 6:11 a.m. by the President of the United States, thanks to idiots and greedy people and Satanists. Saying that a major enemy in a major war that is going on right now, despite them calling it an excursion for legal reasons so he doesn't get impeached. Only reason. Ever since George Bush Jr., that's all they've had to say. It's just a terrorist strike. We're allowed to do that. That ends up, 20, 30 years later. Or ends up in Armageddon. Or the apocalypse. Like you're in fucking now. He says a major enemy of a major country surrendered. Here we are days later, there's boats fucking burning that look like fucking Hades. Because they're loaded with oil and they're enormous sailing vessels. So you light that on fire, son, my God. Have you seen the pictures, the video? And really, the only video we're getting out, which is sad, Chinese fishermen or Chinese workers of some sort off the coasts of some of these countries. Only footage I'm seeing. Of two ports that got hit. What got hit today? Hormuz and Oman. Only because of Chinese, whatever they are, fishermen something, filming it. Have we even seen these? On the 7th, how many days ago was that? Our enemy surrendered. And where's the best part down here? I won't read the middle part. Called him the loser of the Middle East. And will be for many decades until they surrender or more likely collapse. Today, Iran will be hit very hard under serious consideration to complete destruction and certain death. So they didn't surrender when you get halfway down the post here. But Donnie set up in the opening, they surrendered. Apollo, we're sorry, we surrendered. Not boats burning 3 days later. U.S. bases hit. Ports hit by drones. I told you these people, Pete and Donnie just willy-nilly did this for fun because they think they can just do this anywhere. I told you, there are smart people. There are people prepared. There are people that know how to prosecute war. These two are fucking morons. I think they're just going to steamroll everybody. Iran's been stockpiling missiles and drones. They are the literal drone manufacturer for Russia, fighting a war against Ukraine. A country the size of Russia is their main customer. And they're able to supply that country. Vlad's hitting Ukraine with like 1,000 a night. Or a couple hundred. So these people are the drone masters before there were drone masters. Now it's the Ukrainians. They are the masters of drones and drone interceptors. And the Reich went and begged for their help after they stepped in doo-doo called Iran, who again's been stockpiling missiles and drones for fucking probably decades. They always knew they were going to get in this fight. And they've been preparing for it. And they've been a major weapons manufacturer and supplier. The most important weapon of our age, drones. Be they sub-drones, boat drones, air drones, in a helicopter form, or a drone in a jet form. They can traverse anywhere. They can hit anyone, anytime. Unmanned. Now AI deployed, I'm sure they're experimenting with that. I'm sure AI picked these targets. That's why the info's 10 years old. They just fed a list of whatever they got in AI. AI picked out. And they hit whatever. And they didn't care. So Donnie stepped in doo-doo, begged the Ukrainians for help. You're taking on a country again. It's a 90 million people. This ain't no, little tiny island here. An armed population that were armed to subjugate the masses in their country. And a country that's been the leading drone producer for I don't know how many years. Until Ukraine came along out of necessity, had to become experts in it. So Donnie needs to tell this lie every day. I've heard this 3-4 times since this point. But this is so misleading. It's so dangerous. And this is what you people have done that have chosen this person and this Reich. We got the president that wakes up first thing in the morning and tells a flat out lie that our enemy that we're at war with surrendered. And eventually the only news we'll get will be Reich approved, so that's what we'll get. As we watch ships burn, army bases burn, U.S. troops get killed, etc. In other words, what the fuck have you people done? You don't understand how bad it's going to be and how bad it is already, I know. I knew 10 years ago. That's why I've been yelling for 10 years, being called crazy. Now it's over. Guaranteed that's in granite, son. I'm sorry. I don't want it to be. I take no joy in saying things like that. I'm telling you the truth. I've been known, and it's cost me a lot in life, and it's made a lot of people not like me. I'm too honest in that respect, where I'll just spout what the truth is. Gets me banned, gets me in trouble, makes me a major threat, to the point TikTok, when I get 2,000 views, takes my whole channel down. Because the message scares them that much. To the point, major social media companies throw tantrums when I say things. It's fucked up. Anyway. I'll do this one and then I'll take a break quickly. This is on the plane the other day. This is also the 7th. Donnie and Pete. Pete's right behind him. The press is asking the question. You ready? This moment is priceless, boy. A shame I can't show you the video. Reporter, did the U.S. bomb an elementary school and kill 175 people? Trump, based on what I've seen, it was done by Iran. So Donnie goes immediately to the lie. It was done by Iran. This isn't the first time he said it. He's reaffirming it. Reporter, is that true, Mr. Hegseth? Hegseth, we're investigating. And Hegseth, when he gave that answer, he was real shaky. He kind of looked at Donnie. And after Donnie heard him say that right behind him, right over his shoulder, son, he didn't just agree with dear leader said like Hegseth usually does. Because Hegseth is realizing I'm guilty of war crimes. People have the evidence on me. I've admitted to enough. I had to lie and say I wasn't in the room when we killed those 2 people that were drowning in the ocean. You know what? Maybe I need to cover my ass a little bit. Pete's scared, in other words. More scared of going to prison or being executed or the Hague than Donnie. It's getting to that point. So Pete says we're investigating, and as soon as Donnie heard that, boy, what you don't see here in this picture, Donnie did not. That's why Miss Nome is gone right now. Shit like that. What you don't see is the second Pete said that, Donnie turned and looked at him. Like, how dare you fucking contradict me like that? And then he said, he went into how it was done by Iran. He kept saying it. Trump, they are very inaccurate with their munitions. It was done by Iran. That's what he said after Pete gave his. And he turned and looked right in. I was like, ooh, Pete. You fucking up, Pete. Getting scared, Pete, I know. Pete, you're a mass murderer. And you're starting to get scared of the Hague and shit like that. I know. You're starting to hear things, whispers. You know what you've done. You know, Donnie. For 10 years, I've been yelling at rubes, people I know for a while. Messaging them, talking to them, trying to talk to people I liked before I realized they were MAGA. And I was like, there's an evil inside of them. You can't be down. Even in 2015. None of you could have been down with this. There's something inside you. I hope you change, or you've changed since then. You still have a little time, not much. I can't tell you exactly how much. That's the trick with this whole God, Jesus, end of the fucking world thing. If you're being honest with people, no one knows the exact day. Christ himself said that. Christ himself said, I don't know. Only the Father knows. Only that one aspect of God, the Father, knows. The exact date, time, minute, where he says, fuck it. Anyway, Pete's getting worried. Pete's scared. And he should be. Because in a normal timeline where it wasn't the end, Donnie would croak at some point and all these people will go to prison and get executed for treason and all kinds of great stuff. And they would actually deserve it. Not like the Democrats you want to lock up. Not the same thing at all. Remotely. And I could give you a million reasons why. I don't have the time. And I've wasted enough on trying to explain it to disingenuous people. In a normal timeline, he would die. They'd all face justice because they're utter criminals, and even the rubes know it. But this ain't normal. And they're going to take us all to the abyss. That's what I've been yelling for 10 years in a nutshell. You people that are down with Donnie, I was yelling at you. He's leading you straight to the abyss. I've said it 6 zillion times. People like Miss Gnome realize it at a certain point. People like Hegseth realize it at a certain point. They're still going to go along, don't get me wrong. But they make a little statements to cover their ass a little bit. Like this one, that's a major no-no with Donnie. You don't contradict him like that. You don't cover your ass and leave Donnie's ass out there to dry. Oh no. That's why Miss Gnome is gone. Miss Gnome been running her mouth. Donnie and Steven told me everything to do. Insert Xanax. Donnie approved that ad campaign that we wasted $200 million of Americans' money on. Insert Xanax. Next day gone, son. Giz on. Watch it, Pete. Donnie turned his head quick, too, like, you covering your ass on me, son? Donnie don't like that. I was thinking about Leon when his little child in the Oval Office, giving us the, co-chancellor speeches from the Oval Office. Donnie's sitting there being treated like he ain't shit. The little kid saying, you ain't the president. Fuck you. Get me some juice, bitch. I told you. Donnie don't like that shit. Donnie gonna do something. Co-chancellor gone. 4 months in. Miss Gnome gone. Bovino gone. Holman, we haven't seen this fat ass for a while. You know, I forgot about that, son. I gotta say that before I go for a minute. Have you noticed the ICE shit's been the mass Gestapo shit? And it ain't just because of the budget, son, that they cut their money off. It ain't just that. Holman ain't been seen a lot. Miller ain't been seen a lot. We ain't hearing much about it. What did I tell you? Little children and the masks. Little cowards. Little cunts. Little kidnappers and murderers. What I tell you, son? What I tell you, Mr. Bovino? I told you, if the public hates you too much, and if it doesn't poll well, you may get thrown under the fucking bus because you'll become useless. Once the hatred builds to a certain amount, a certain level, you become useless, son, like Mr. Bovino, like Miss Gnome. I forgot she's out too in my little speech here. The 2 top people. Giz on. I said Hitler threw the brown shirts under the bus. I guarantee it was for this exact same reason. Use you till you have no credibility or use left because the public despises you too much. Wring out everything you're worth and then throw you under the fucking bus. I'm getting a sense. I don't know. And Pete's new Gestapo's coming out. Maybe you'll get replaced with them. In fact, I have a feeling you'll definitely get replaced with the new Gestapo. Not the old Gestapo. Not you. I'm just getting a feeling, since we ain't hearing much, we ain't seeing much, we ain't seeing fat-ass bags of cash homing, maybe you all about to be thrown under the bus. Like the brown shirts were, like Miss Gnome, like Mr. Bovino. That's the risk you take when you shake hands with the devil, son. We've all done it at different points in our life. But there's a difference between turning on all of your countrymen being a traitor, kidnapper, murderer. You're taking it to a whole new level that the man will not be pleased with. And again, whether you believe in the man don't matter because he's still the man. Do you understand how that works? Not because I say so, because he's the man. That's it. That's it. If I created you, if I created all this, well, it's mine. I run it. I'm in charge. I'm God. And it doesn't matter who believes it, doesn't believe it, agrees. I did it. You see how that concept works? A little history on Hegseth, and I didn't need to look into his background to tell he was a soft ass. Once I heard Princeton and I see him speak and obvious alcoholic, it's kind of obvious that he was privileged and he never saw any real action and that he's a fuck up from what we're seeing right now. And I told you it way back in the beginning. Pete and Donnie are going to get us in some shit because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Pete is nowhere near qualified to be where he is. A person in that position needs to be a brilliant strategist. Pete never was that for a second in his life, son. That's real bad for us. Donnie is not a strategist. He's just evil. He's using mob tactics against the world. He's got the biggest stick, and he's using it. And that's what the mob does. They're the tough guys in the neighborhood. They got the guns. They'll beat you up. They'll kill you, whatever, and they have no hesitation doing it. And you know that, therefore they get what they want. Donnie doing the same thing. Problem is in this game, some people have nukes. They got missiles. They got drones. They got smarts. That Donnie and Pete never had. They just bullies. They ain't smart. What does that mean for you and me? We fucked. That's what it means. What's that mean for the world? You're fucked too. It ain't just America going down. That's what I've been trying to tell you forever too. Hegseth was removed from command of an infantry platoon and assigned to a civil affairs desk job in Iraq. In Afghanistan, he was a coin instructor and likely never left his FOB. He was a low-speed infantry officer, no airborne school, no air assault school, no ranger school. His extreme white nationalism forced his command to label him a security risk and keep him from the Biden inauguration. He's an alcoholic and has been fired from Veterans Organization for his toxic insubordination. Not to mention the white supremacist tattoos. That doesn't fucking help either. So he's a MAGA sycophant. He was an ex-Fox News. That's his real experience. Host or guest. Contributor. That's what we got. A guy who fires people when they take a bad camera shot, or bans photographers when they take a bad shot of him. Maybe he didn't have his makeup done yet. I don't know. What have you people done? This is from The Guardian. So it ain't just me saying it. Data centers are becoming a target in warfare for the first time. Oh shit, I gotta start this again. It shuts off on its own after a certain amount of time. So like I said, I believe some data centers have already been hit. They would never tell us or show us that because that's their baby. That's their precious right now. AI and the data centers and cataloging everything we do, say, everything we type, what porn we watch, everything. And they need that for the new police state, which is obviously being pushed by almost every government you can think of. That's the direction the oligarchy, the tech bros, the Reich, and many countries want to take us. So they would never talk about these things actually being hit. They would do everything they could to stop us from seeing pictures of it and know about it. It's not being reported very widely. Data centers are becoming a target in warfare for the first time. Iran said they will target data centers. I believe they've hit a few already. I believe they hit some of Bezos. And they're just not telling us. But Iran said straight up, yeah, we're going to target those. Attacks on ships in Strait of Hormuz escalate as Iran launches intense strikes. This was in the morning. So Iran's been hitting ships. I've heard 13 altogether so far. They hit 3 tonight. So again, it doesn't look like they surrendered. We ain't seeing shit in the Middle East except what Chinese fishermen fucking film. That tells me all I need to know. Pete's grabbing the radar systems from fucking South Korea, fucking them over, taking them to the Middle East. That means they've hit some of our radar systems. They're hitting ships. The strait's still closed. This is not going well. At all. And they're not telling us. And we got 2 idiots in charge that keep telling us they surrendered every fucking day. Tell that to the 3 boat owners and the people that own the oil and the crew members that are burning as hot as fucking Hades tonight. My God, if you saw those pictures. Google, Amazon, Microsoft, NVIDIA offices in Middle East on alert after Iran lists them as potential targets. Well done, Google, Microsoft, Amazon. The world you've created has resulted in you being on a target list. Great job. You knew better. Not crazy guys in sunglasses. They didn't know shit. Right? Right. Now you want a target list. Good luck, son. Good luck. Pam Bondi relocated her D.C. apartment to a nearby military base. From her D.C. apartment to a nearby military base. Amid threats from cartels, people angry over her handling of the Epstein files, and Maduro supporters, no midterms. There's a reason Miller, her live on military bases. This is unprecedented for this many to give up their personal privacy and space like that. They had a plan before they won. This was always the plan. They telegraphing it by living on military bases. They can't have the midterms. It will either be rigged or there will be roundups and camps going on before we get to the midterms. I'm wondering if Donnie wants an attack and will keep us in war so he can say, oh, no midterms. We're in war. Can't do it. I'm dictator, martial law. However it plays out, there's only one reason these people are living on the bases, and there's many of them, and I'll get to the names in a minute. Because they are going to do something major. And they know there's going to be millions of people on the street. Therefore, Civil Response Force under Pete Hegseth, new Gestapo. Therefore, new network of concentration camps inside the U.S. that you have paid for. A hefty overpayment for every single one, by the way. Hence, them living on the bases. That's how serious it's going to get, and they know it, and they telegraphing it. Really simply put, class, and rubes and greedy and lawyers and crazy people, Donnie staged a coup last time, rather than give up power. Therefore, when he gets back in the second time, when he makes this big comeback, as he said the other day, his struggle, Donnie's struggle, he talked about it. He talks about it all the time. He speaks his Mein Kampf. Hitler wrote his in prison. Because at least the Germans had the balls to put him in prison for a little bit. Not like here. Even when everyone watches the coup on TV. He staged a coup last time. He had decided in his struggle, his intervening 4 years, his Mein Kampf, that he wouldn't give you the chance if you ever gave him the keys back, if you didn't throw him in fucking prison. He never planned on leaving, and that was fucking obvious. So the midterms ain't happening. There will be no more elections in any real way. Any major ones anyway. Midterms, 4-year presidency. Over. You gave him the keys back. I told you in 25 in January. It's too late. Once he has the keys, forget about it. America's over. It's all over. Stephen Miller saying plenary authority again and then freezing on camera. I mean, these people, they're not good liars. They're not smart. They're just evil. And they're willing to go to lengths like shoot women in the face, shoot men in the back, and then call them terrorists. They're willing to go to any lengths. Only reason they're where they're at. Only reason this is all over. There is no line with them. And there is no line with the people that support them, obviously. So the main point is they're telegraphing literally that they're going to do something major and the population is going to be furious and out on the streets and there's going to be roundups and they want to be safe behind the guys with machine guns, the hands of Satan, the hands of the right called the military. Now that's all you are. I'm sorry. I used to have respect for you, son. I don't anymore. You're the enemy now. You're the one that's going to be pointing a machine gun at your fellow citizens, not me, son. I don't know what else to call you. You're the one mass murdering people in Iran for no reason. You're the ones who mass murdered people down in Venezuela for no reason, just to steal their oil. I can't be on board with that, son. I'm sorry. Even though you're wearing the uniform of my country. You're no longer of my country. In fact, my country's over. Thanks to you. For you are the young man, the hand of the Reich, the hand of Satan. None of it could work without you. The cunt in the mask. The soldier in fatigues. None of it could work without you. Stephen would just be a 4'5" little troll without you. Donnie would just be a fat, orange-faced, diapered, shitty con man without you. What a shame. Bunch of Iranian little girls still be alive without you, too. 200 people down the Caribbean and in Venezuela still be alive without you, too. The man will not be pleased. And I'm just following orders, or I just followed orders. That's not an argument. It doesn't work. I'm sorry. You won't be facing earthly judges that might share your political leanings, which are Satan, and let you off. No chance. Last night, the U.S.-Israel bombed an Iranian civilian bank on Haghani Highway in Tehran. The attack killed several bank employees who were working extra shift hours to prepare people's salaries. In response, Iran's armed forces have warned everyone in the region to stay 1 kilometer away from U.S.-Israeli affiliated banks, as it will be among its targets now. Well done, U.S. banks, tech bros. The world you've created because you all voted Republican, baby. Don't even try and say you didn't. I know you people. You made this world, you made this Reich happen because you thought it would benefit you. You could leash it with your bribes of hundreds of millions. I know. But what you didn't know, in all your infinite wisdom, because you have a lot of zeros in your bank account, you thought you were wise. I know. What you didn't know is for, I don't know, over 1,000 years ago, this guy saw a vision. And it talked about a beast. And he wrote it down. And it's somehow managed to make it all this time. Because I think there's some unwritten rule that it has to. It has to be allowed. I don't know. The devil's not allowed to stop it. I don't know. And it's been deciphered. And it talks about this guy who God calls an animal, a beast. And it talks about how he's going to take over the world. And he's basically the anointed of the devil, his fucking self. Not basically, he is. The devil's just, main man. And he'll be unleashable, uncontrollable, and he'll take everyone straight to the fucking abyss. And it gets so bad, son. Son, are you listening? It gets so bad that the rich people in their bunkers, they say, can the rocks just fall on our heads so we don't have to face the wrath of God? Boy, the wrath of God must be terrifying. If you'd rather rocks fall on your fucking head. That's you, son. You know who you are. And what you didn't know, all of you in your infinite wisdom, or you didn't care, he's going to take you all with him. That's why all the tech firms are now on a target list by a country that has 1 million drones and 1 million missiles. That's why American banks and Israeli banks are on a target list. Because you people knew better. And just person after person thought they could leash him with compromat or millions in bribes or whatever. And all of you thought you would benefit. Are you benefiting now? I don't know, the dystopian oligarch police state globe, whatever you people are trying to do, it seems like there's some pretty heavy consequences for you people. I mean, look at Altman. The second he stepped on board in a major way where we all found out about it, lost millions of customers. Business probably became worthless overnight. I mean overnight, son. That's also your fault. You and the banks. You and the tech firms. You wanted this. What I'm doing right now. Live stream from a cell phone. You wanted us all carrying these. You wanted the social media world, right? You wanted our dossiers and all that great stuff. It's also been the conduit for a man like Altman for his business to become worthless in hours. It's also the conduit for us to find out a lot of you are pedophiles. In hours. The whole world. It's also this modern era, this whole thing we're doing right now, where I could speak on this little box phone and someone in Australia can see it as I'm doing it. What does that mean? There's another aspect to the story. You see, it talks about many events that the whole world sees. Never before was that possible. Now the whole world sees something in a matter of hours. All at the same time. Isn't that fascinating? I find it fascinating. So again, the American banks and all the tech firms, you've now put yourself on a target list thanks to the world you've created, thanks to the monster you thought you could control with your bribes that you thought you would benefit from. Mr. Bezos as well. I heard one of your centers got hit, son. You made it happen. You enabled this monster. You made this current world. Enjoy. And thank you for your attention to this fucking matter. Iran is exporting more oil through the Strait of Hormuz than before the war, blocking other tankers but waving its own through. An abject humiliation for the White House. And this person has a link to a Wall Street Journal article that they got this from. So it's not just them saying it. If that is happening and the Wall Street Journal is saying that's happening, that's embarrassing as fuck. And it shows what kind of control Iran actually has on the situation. And it shows that they can still get their oil where they need to get it and make their money. Which could sustain this fight for years. The most powerful military in the world can't stop this. Understand where you're at. And I'll explain why in a moment. This is the Iran military. They have several accounts on Twitter, different Iranian government agencies and spokesmen for Iran. To the people of Bahrain, the UAE, Kuwait, do not remain within 1 kilometer of banks. Khatam al-Anbiya headquarters spokesperson. After the U.S. and Israel attack an Iranian bank, we are now free to target U.S. and Israeli economic centers and banks across the region. The people that are now targets, they made this happen. Because of them, they are on a target list. Because of their own actions. Because of the monster they propped the fuck up and helped put in charge. That is incredible to me. I know what you all thought. The believers. You thought, again, only liberals would get hurt. Only the people you don't like would get hurt. How many farmers aren't alive anymore? Just since January of 25. Charlie Kirk. My point is, what I didn't really expect, well, then again, I did, because he is all leading you all by the nose to the abyss. Literally. A lot of MAGA enablers, institutions that propped up MAGA and made it happen, made Donnie happen. A lot of rubes down at the peasant level. What be they farmers, people that work in government, people that work at different companies that are getting laid the fuck off because of Donnie. So many of you have suffered immensely. So many of you have died. Some of you that are the hand of the Reich right now in the fatigues have died. Directly because of Donnie. Over 100 injured, I hear. Some seriously. In other words, MAGA's paying a price. And I really I must ask, is this the utopia you were looking for? Are we great again? And again, banks and tech firms literally have themselves on a target list of one of the most powerful countries in the Persian Empire. That's the devil, son. And you went right along with him. I don't know what to tell you. You guys knew better, right? Breaking news from New York Times. U.S. at fault in strike on elementary school in Iran. Preliminary inquiry says, I'm really having trouble speaking, people. I don't know why. I slept. I got a nice nap in. For once in my fucking life. I don't feel dead tired. And I still can't speak. Yeah, we know. We know. New York Times. When the first piece of footage of that missile, whatever it was, coming down, you could see the little wings on it. You could see it was a Tomahawk. From the second that footage came out, and that was days ago, Donnie knew America hit it. Pete knew America hit it. They've been lying every day since, and they still lying. Pete says it's under investigation. Donnie says it was Iran. New York Times says it was definitely America, according to a preliminary inquiry. We already all knew it was America. Look, because of Pete and Donnie and their stupidity and their old targeting info, as if they cared, they still would have hit it anyway. They don't give a fuck. 170 some girls, children are dead. And they could care less. And Donnie's still lying about it. That's an insult to them. Again, I come back to that piece of scripture just popped into my head, blaspheming the dead, blaspheming God, his tabernacle, those in heaven. Bunch of children he killed. He's lying and saying the country they lived in killed them instead of him. You could look at that as blaspheming the dead, those in heaven. We already knew the U.S. was at fault. It's sad we have to go through this theater. It's sad that Donnie's such a child. He blames it on the country he bombed. It's a shame Donnie's that evil. Again, not only did he lie and say they surrendered the other fucking day, and he's continued to say shit like that. He's been blaming the literal country that he bombed when he knows, literally, that it's because of him. Do you understand what level of evil we're talking here? I guess you don't. Otherwise, we'd still have a country. Right? Right. A few minutes ago, Iranian drones struck Oman's largest oil storage facilities at the port of Salalah in Oman. That's what this looks like. And I watched the footage of the drone hitting it, and I believe this was Chinese or something, a boat that caught this footage. That's the only reason we're seeing it. Because they're not from those countries. Because those people in those countries, if they share any footage like this, they go into prison. Those people in Israel, if they share any footage like this, they go into prison, and everyone knows it. That's why we're not seeing shit. Some of the best footage I've seen so far are these Asian or boats off the coast are the only ones getting anything. And you can see it very clearly. The drone come in and it hits the top of one of these stacks, and it looks like a second one is on fire. And I assume there's oil or something. So if that any spark gets near any of that and ignites, well, it's probably all going to go up because you can't really put it out. So it kind of just spreads. If it's on the coast, that means it's windy. You can tell by the smoke, it's kind of moving to the side. That's going to spread the flames too. So this was today. So again, it doesn't look like Iran has surrendered. And it looks like, son, Donnie keeps saying they have no capability anymore. It looks like they still got capability. And that's not the whole story, son. It gets worse. I'm going to take another break. And then we'll go to the other names that live on military bases, basically straight up telegraphing again that they're gonna no more elections, roundups, and they want to make sure they're nice and safe on that military base. Tells me all I need to know, son. Nobody wants to live on a military. You're doing that for an important reason, and it ain't just because of threats. Oh no, son. They know the real threat's coming later, when there's 1 million people out on the streets. Because they, what's it called? Negated the elections or said, the elections aren't happening, we're at war, emergency powers. I'm dictator forever. He won't say that part, but that's the intention. Oh, have I said I hate you? And you know who you are. Okay. Got this fucking bag of Raisinets here. That costs like $6 now, by the way. Bag of fucking Raisinets. And they're calling my name, and I love Raisinets. I could drink the motherfuckers. If there was a cup of Raisinets, I could just drink them and just... They're so delicious, my God. It's a perfect little candy that's not really candy because it's a raisin. It's an actual organic piece of fruit that you get some nutritional value out of, and a little bit of chocolate. Fucking perfect combination, my God. And it's somewhat healthy. Nothing to see here. This is Seth Abramson. Nothing to see here, just the Trump officials who'd oversee an insurrection act invocation and then martial law declarations moving on to military bases. Miller, Bondi, Rubio, Hegseth, Nome, the secretaries of the Army and Navy. That's all I need to hear, son. Damn near the whole cabinet that matters. Miller, Bondi, Rubio, Hegseth, Nome. They're the top people. Secretaries of Army and Navy. That makes sense. They're actually in the military, I assume. Or a secretary civilian. I don't know. Who cares? All I know, that's the head of state, that's the head of war, that's the head of Homeland, that's the DOJ, that's Miller, who's our pseudo co-chancellor. That alone, if you only told me that alone would worry me. That's a flashing fucking neon sign the size of the sun saying America's over. They about to pull some big shit. And my God, if all Obama's top cabinet people were living on military bases, the whole right-wing grift machine, the podcasters, my God, they would say it's Armageddon. They would say, you know, they're about to do something horrific. They might be right. But it's their people doing it. Your people. Again, they might as well be wearing a t-shirt that says, you know, dictatorship's incoming. And there ain't shit you can do about it. New infrastructure of camps. These are headlines. This isn't secret. New Gestapo. Ready by April. Midterm elections, what, 5 or 6 months away? I don't know. The entire cabinet that matters living on military bases. Mass Gestapo that just got done murdering U.S. citizens, kidnapping U.S. citizens just for bounty money and rent money for the jail cells that they could charge the government for. They're private owned. That's why a lot of them end up in Texas. Human trafficking's a whole business in Texas, all across this country. Turned it into an industry. Born of Satan. Yeah, you add all that up, man. It's looking kind of Reichy, Adolf Hitler-y, dictatorship-y. Not kinda, exactly. Literally. And they're Nazis too. That's the best part. I don't want them to be. This isn't fun for me, son. I'm not saying that because I want attention. I'm saying that because of Nazi salutes. And concentration camps. And mass Gestapo. And our military deployed against us. And them all living on military bases. And annexation. And they ain't even annexing or bombing one country, and then Donnie talking shit on Canada like we're going to take you too. Saying Governor Carney. That's what level Antichrist you's dealing with. Yeah, I'm sorry. All these names, living on bases, that should tell you all you need to know. Get mentally prepared. They're going to do it. They've executed every other part of the plan, son, right in front of your face. They shot a woman right in the face, filmed it, put it on social media, got $1 million. They shot a guy in the back 10 times. They all got whisked away to safety. They all still working with the mask on. Fat fuck Johnny's still working. He a millionaire now. They hid another guy's death for a year that they killed right in the beginning in March of 2025. Get mentally prepared. We watched executions right on the street of American citizens that did nothing wrong. The most cowardly of ways, shooting an unarmed woman in the face, disarming a man, beating him, 10-on-1, and then shooting him 10 times in the back, son. This the level of cretin, vile, scumbag, lake fodder of Satan cowards, of evil we're dealing with. Get mentally prepared. Because they ain't living on military bases for nothing, son. They expect a lot of you out on the streets. And they don't want to be on the streets. They want to be behind guys with machine guns. Only one reason for that. Thanks, Roops. Some of you will end up in the camps too, don't worry. Enjoy. You made it happen. A new report says that a military investigation has found that the U.S. struck a school in Iran. As Commander-in-Chief, do you take responsibility? This is Donnie today. Early. Remember, Donnie's already lied about it and blamed it on Iran multiple times by this moment. Trump for what? Like he didn't hear, like he doesn't know. Question a strike on the school in Iran. Trump, I don't know about it. You said it was Iran the other day. We've seen this so many times with Donnie. They hit him with a question and that proves he's a mass murderer, a pedophile, whatever. I don't know about it. I don't know. Really? Because you've been commenting on it every day since it happened. Like always. And then when we hit you first thing in the morning with the literal evidence that you're a liar or a murderer or a pedophile or whatever the fuck, I don't know. I got nothing to do with it. I'm exonerated. Again, the level of evil. Now all of a sudden he don't know nothing about anything. Just like a little child. I don't know. I didn't do it. I'm exonerated. What are you talking about? Pretend they don't hear. And remember, because I think we forget of what we're really talking about on so many of these, when Donnie says, I don't know, I had nothing to do with it, blah, 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 which is always a lie. This is regarding 170, children that were killed. This is what he's lying about. This is what he's trying to say. I know nothing about it. He's the president of the fucking United States. He ordered the bombs dropped, son. He's seen the footage. He knows exactly what happened. He knew when he said Iran did it, what happened. He intentionally lied and blamed it on the country he bombed. The killing of children. He's lying again. I don't know about it. Oh my God, again. What have you people done? This a level of evil, son. I'm glad I ain't got my name on it. This ain't normal. There's something much more potent that you people are playing with. And you know who you are. I don't expect you to change. If your line hasn't been reached by now, I don't think it's going to be reached. But, you could prove me wrong. And the only person that will benefit is you. White House aware of Gulf countries' concern about missile interceptor shortage. But according to Donnie, we got all the weapons in the world. Everything's great. The war's going great. Never mind that we asked everybody in an emergency meeting to quadruple production, as if that's even possible. And never mind that the Middle Eastern countries are like, we're running out of anti-aircraft missiles. This from CBS. So it ain't just me saying it again. They're running short on missile interceptors, and that they've said they're having to choose which objects to blow up and which not to, multiple sources told CBS. So the Middle Eastern countries, and I'm sure Israel, are saying, we need more missiles. Can't give them to everybody. Shipping them, getting them where they need to go safely. It takes a long time. And I'm wondering, and I've been wondering for a while, because I know Iran isn't like all those other Middle Eastern countries. They are a main weapons manufacturer. They are the literal supplier for Russia. They are all about missiles. And they've been stockpiling for years. I've been wondering, have they saved their better stuff for later? When Israel's air defense is a little depleted and the rest of the Middle East is depleted, and then they launched the real shit. That'd be real embarrassing, wouldn't it? They take out a couple miles of Israel with something, or they take out a couple miles somewhere in some other location because there's no air defense left. And that was the point. Because if I had to guess, I would guess that Iran has the most missiles in the Middle East by far. Just a guess. So it's possible, especially with the other Middle Eastern countries, not Israel so much, it's possible to deplete their shit with the garbage and then launch the good shit. Did Pete ever think about that? Did Donnie? Absolutely fucking not. What does that spell for the world and you? Doom. That's what that spells. So the Middle Eastern countries are complaining to Donnie, we running out of interceptor missiles. That is not good against the country that has the most missiles in the Middle East and the most drones by a long margin. Another question for Donnie. Look, is that Miss Levitt? She's so cunty. Oh, God. Oh, God. Are you encouraging oil company CEOs to use the Strait of Hormuz? Remember the other day, Brian Kilmeade on Fox and Friends in the morning. They should just go through. If you got an oil boat, just go the fuck through. Oh, yeah, and exterminate homeless people, too. People are so quick to volunteer other people's property and lives. What does Donnie say? Yeah, I think they should. I think they should. I think they should use the Strait. Look, we took out just about all their mine ships. Here we go again. Donnie lying, the Reich lying. We took out everything. They ain't got nothing left. Just go on through. 3 boats on fire. It looks like the pits of fucking Hades, son. The night, the very day, the same day he made this comment, hours later, once darkness falls. We got 3 boats. And, these ain't little fucking rowboats, son. These are enormous oil tankers. that'll burn like the sun for fucking 3 days. Brian Kilmeade, Donnie Shitbags, the president of the United States, who started a war in one of the worst possible places, and I'm getting to where I'm going to show it to you. And how fucked everyone is based on the geography. The very day he says this, yeah, you should just go through. Okay, some people tried to go through, they got their shit blew up. Actually, I think they might have been at anchor. They might not have even been trying to go through. I know a Chinese ship tried to go through, and then they turned their bitch ass around today. And 3 ships got, they're done. They're a barbecue. The very day Donnie says this. Yeah, just go on through. The next question should be, are you going to escort him through, Donnie? Oh, no, we're not sending our ships to get blown up. And I'll show you why they can't send their ships in a moment. Look, we took out just about all of their mine ships. Okay, what about sub-drones, boat drones, aerial drones, missiles in general? Three boats on fire tonight, the day he says this. Just go on through. Donnie's so quick to volunteer other people's lives and property to get blown up and destroyed. Breaking insane footage filmed by Chinese sailors of the moment fuel tanks were struck by a drone at Salalah in Oman. And I showed you this picture, this kind of a more further back picture. This is when it like first hit before it caught fire. And again, it's the only reason we're getting this footage, because guys are on a boat off the coast. The people in the countries themselves, I guess they go to prison if they show it. And again, that's Oman. That's not the Strait. We'll get to it. This is Elizabeth Warren. X, ABC, Meta, and Paramount. These companies all settled lawsuits with Donald Trump by promising to donate as much as $63 million to his presidential library. But then Trump dissolved the library fund. So where'd the money go? In Donnie's goddamn pocket. Where you fucking think it went? I'm pressing these CEOs for answers. Straight bribes. And if the library is no longer a thing, the money should be returned. But since it's not been returned, that proves they're straight bribes. X, ABC, Meta, and Paramount. That's where we at. Back to Donnie and Miss Levitt in her lovely pink blazer. And again, she got the nose so small, so tic-tacky. The glasses are almost falling off her face. It looks ridiculous. And I get it. The J-Lo glasses, the big glasses, they're in style. I never liked them personally, but, you know, J-Lo rocked them, but, you know, she looked good in them. She's J-Lo, though. I mean, there's like almost not a nose there, and the glasses almost look like they're going to fall off, and they look even bigger because she got her nose shrunken down to the size of a Tic Tac. And I've seen pictures of her before the nose. She was a pretty blonde-haired girl. I mean, I don't think she needed a nose job, but, you know, I guess she did. But it's... the glasses just look enormous, and there's like no nose there. Anyway, I'm supposed to be reading Donnie's comment, not talking about Skeletor. Can you declare victory in this war if the supreme leader remains the Ayatollah's son? Donnie, I don't want to comment on that. What's that mean, class? That means they plan on killing the son. That's what that means. That's why Donnie doesn't want to comment. Ducey, this is a different location where Donnie did an interview. I forget where this was today. And that looks like this. Ducey, you said it's an excursion and you said it's a war, so which is it? Well, it's both. It's an excursion that will keep us out of war. For them, it's war. For us, it's turned out to be easier than we thought. Now, I was listening to CNN on satellite radio, and they had 7 veterans, and they asked them about all this to give them a quick one-word or phrase response to the war in Iran. One of them spouted these exact talking points. It's an excursion. It's not a big deal. For them, it's a war. For us, it's just an excursion. Tell that to the 7 dead soldiers. Tell that to the various Persian countries that are now on fire in various places because of bombings and missiles. Tell that to the U.S. military bases that have been hit and destroyed. Radar installations, money it's cost us. Tell that to the 3 ships full of oil that are now probably at the bottom of the sea. Tell that to the world's economy. Tell that to the farmers who need the Strait of Hormuz for fertilizer. It's just an excursion. Tell that to the guy working some shit job and he's got to drive his car there and he goes to the gas pump and it's almost $5 for regular. That hurts a motherfucker, son. I seen MAGA people showing up at gas. They talking shit. On camera, son. That'll wake a motherfucker up real quick. Getting to the gas pump and seeing $5 for regular. The reddest redneck, son, I saw on camera, talking shit on the Reich. So again, that veteran that just spouted Donnie's talking points word for word, it doesn't seem like an excursion to me. It seems like a war, and it's ruined the entire world's economy. How dare anyone call this an excursion? Only the highest level cunt would call this an excursion. Or someone trying to dodge impeachment for starting a war without going to Congress first like you're supposed to, because he's a goddamn Adolf Hitler wannabe. Again, tell that to the dead children, the dead soldiers on both sides. Oh, it's just an excursion. Really? It's only a war for them. Really? I see a lot of other places get blown up. I'm seeing boats get blown up. I'm seeing the economy get blown up. This shit out of their control now. And I was worried it would go this way. All I know is they talking big shit. Donnie talking big shit every single day. And every single day I see more things get hit with missiles and drones. And now 3 ships burning and the strait still fucking closed. Yet we got the most powerful military in the world, but they can't go in. You know why? I'm going to show you why in a moment when I get there eventually. My God. A Chinese-owned cargo ship attempting to run the Strait of Hormuz made a complete U-turn this morning after the ship in front of it was attacked by an Iranian SUV, or excuse me, USV, not SUV. USV. Now, this is a thing that tracks the Strait of Hormuz. It's a site. And it gives you real-time info of the ships moving back and forth. And you got to see, if you played the video, you got to see the Chinese ship moving toward the strait, and you see him make a nice sharp U-turn and get the fuck out of there. because, again, the ship in front got attacked. That's what's going on. Yet Donnie and Pete says it's going great. And it looks like this. And you can see the ship going up and turn around and go right back down. So it ain't bullshit. Let me take another break and I'll come back and do more here. Forgive me, but this is long and I need to take many breaks. It's important though. And it kind of feels like we're literally in World War III and that this thing's going to escalate because it's going to have to, because it's going to be the only way Donnie can open the strait. And what's Donnie and Pete's almost always response? Let's hit him harder. That doesn't seem to be going well. You're even getting coordinated strikes between the Lebanese, Hezbollah, and Iran at the same time now. It's on Israel. It's getting ugly. All right, we need to move for a moment. Some annoying cunts are nearby. Can I drive with this all rigged up? I probably can. exciting things happen. I mean, on this channel, don't they? Tom Grant interviews, and you get to see stalkers send the cops to try and get me locked up. When they're the ones that should be locked up, they're the literal criminals stalking people and shit. Literal phone call evidence that they're a stalker and a psycho. The irony, it's like Donnie, you know, pointing the finger, trying to get everyone else locked up when they're the fucking criminal and the drug addict and the scumbag. Exciting things. Exciting things. Not the typical stuff. Alright, I hope that doesn't fuck up the signal or whatever. I hate seatbelt alarms, man. God, I hate them. Most annoying shit ever. Also, municipalities can make more money. They don't give a fuck if people die in car accidents. Just another reason to stop you and get looking. Another scam amongst many. Okay, let's, where was that at? Oh, that's up here above the fucking, alright, let's turn that on. I know, I don't need that, fuck it. Okay, Donnie again with Miss Levitt. We could do a lot worse. We're leaving certain things that if we take them out, and we could have taken them out by this afternoon, they literally would never be able to build that country back. Okay, that's a nice tough guy statement. And yeah, Donnie could carpet bomb the whole fucking country and bomb them back to the Stone Age. But you know what they could do? Keep the Strait shut down for years. And that would do much more damage than anything Donnie could do to that country. Donnie's playing a very dangerous fucking game here. And he's losing. So you can say shit like that, you can do shit like that, but they can shut that Strait down for 10 years. Fucking idiot. In a satellite-driven analysis, the New York Times identified at least 17 U.S. sites that Iran has damaged, including 2 embassies, a consulate, major air bases, and high-end radar systems. Now you know why Pete's grabbing the radar from South Korea. Some facilities have been hit multiple times. Iran has managed to hit 17 U.S. sites. So yeah, it ain't going as wonderfully as Donnie and Pete are saying. Hence the burning fucking boats as we speak. Jesus. Donnie again. The different interview, the second one. We did a little excursion. A few weeks of excursion. Had to take an excursion, but it's doing well. Okay, Adolf. Okay, Vlad. The market is holding up well. No, it isn't. Not at all. I figured we would be hit a little bit. Really? No, he didn't. But we were hit less than I thought, and we will be back on track in a pretty short while. Prices are coming down substantially. No, they're not. They've been up, and they're going up. Oil will be coming down. No, actually, again, we're getting close to 5 again per gallon. My favorite part is you would never get this type of acknowledgement until shit hits the fan from Donnie or Pete or anyone. That's how you know, son, that the shit has hit the fan. I figured we would be hit a little bit, but we were hit less than I thought. That means the shit has hit the fan, because Donnie and Pete didn't figure we'd be hit at all. I can tell by how surprised they are. I can tell by how Iran has the leverage right now. Not us, not the Reich, whatsoever. They stepped in some real shit this time. And we in it with them. Hence what you pay in at the gas pump. Let alone the dead soldiers' money, all that. Not to mention, again, I didn't know this until now, farmers, fertilizer, that's a huge port for fertilizer for the whole fucking world. That oil that comes out is part of that process. And some farmers are saying they fucked right now. Donnie called it an excursion 9 times because he'll get impeached if he doesn't, if he calls it a war, even though he calls it a war every other sentence. It's just so insulting to the entire world and the soldiers that are dead, and just everyone going to the gas pump paying that extra money that they don't fucking have. And he just calls it an excursion like it's no big deal. So he doesn't get impeached. For legal purposes. Tell that to the families of the dead soldiers, and tell that to the families of the dead Iranian children, that it's just an excursion. It's no big deal. You cunt of Satan. Anyone saying that don't have to be Donnie. This is from an account called South Asia Index. So they serious, son. U.S. is dismantling its THAAD and Patriot systems from South Korea to send to the Middle East. Here's what we didn't know. I added that part, because nobody knew this. In 2017, South Korea sacrificed its diplomatic and economic relations with China to host THAAD. That's a big fucking deal. Chinese tourism to South Korea worth billions of dollars was abruptly stopped due to diplomatic standoff. That's a big deal. K-pop was banned in China. That's a big deal. Hyundai and Kia had to close their factories in China, ultimately losing their market shares in China. That's a fucking big deal. South Korea lost billions of dollars in exports to China in order to host U.S. THAAD and Patriot systems. That's a huge deal. Now U.S. has dismantled its THAAD and Patriot missile systems in South Korea and is sending to Middle East. That's a big deal. In other words, those systems were protection for South Korea against North Korea and China and other places. Now they're gone. After they sacrificed their entire economic relationship with China, worth billions of dollars. That's the U.S., that's the CIA, that's the U.S. military. Right there, son. That's the Reich. You know, it reminds me of Ukraine. The United States under, I don't know, Bill Clinton or somebody makes a promise to Ukraine. If you get rid of your nukes, if you help Russia out, I don't know why they wanted to help Russia out, but whatever. We got your back. Years later, Vlad attacks him for the second fucking time. And a traitor, a Russian asset, comes along called Donnie Shitbags and his MAGA cult following. And they decide it's okay for Ukrainians to die, and they decide it's okay for us to renege on our deal because they stand for nothing, they believe in nothing, and they only parrot the talking points. Whatever the con man they idolize gives them, and the KGB agent that runs them. So Ukrainians die, help is withheld, Ukraine is demonized by the movement, the Reich, and Donnie himself, Donnie Krasnov, that is. And the deal is reneged upon. And the leader of Ukraine has to come over here and get embarrassed and fucking yelled at by traitors. And them same traitors, when they step in some shit called Iran, come run into those very people they just tried to fuck over and have been fucking over for Russia, for Vlad, because they traitors. They come to those very people and say, can you help us? Iran's fucking us up with drones and missiles. We don't know what to do. And you people been dealing with that every day and dying because of us and Vlad. But can you help us? After that theater him and the couch fucking pedophile pulled when Zelensky came that first time, they dare go to Ukraine and say, can you help us with this drone situation? So that deal got reneged upon because of a traitor named Donnie Shitbags and a KGB agent named Vlad. And South Korea, the arrangement America made with them, just got reneged upon because of a traitor named Donnie Shitbags. And a KGB agent named Vlad. Incredible. Spain just made a diplomatic snub to Israel permanent. Madrid formally ended its ambassador's posting to Israel, confirming that the role is being scrapped. It kind of feels like to me, remember the leader of Iran, let the world know any country that throws out the US and Israel will have access to the Strait of Hormuz. It kind of feels like to me that Spain took the deal. I've been waiting to see who the first country would be. I didn't expect it to be Spain. I'm wondering if that's the road we're seeing here. That Spain said, okay, we'll take the deal. We hate the Reich. Kind of feels like that. I didn't think it would happen so fast. Okay, the Strait of Hormuz. I am no expert on the canals and fucking straits of the world and what they look like and what countries border them and all that. We learned about the Suez via the Signal chat, where Stephen Miller wanted to extort Europe and Egypt using the Suez. We saw where that was, right on the side of Egypt. We understand the importance of that canal. Now, this is the Strait of Hormuz. And it looks like this. Notice where the X is. I looked at this today because I'm no expert on the Strait of fucking Hormuz. I wanted to see the geography, what it looked like, what countries border it, all of it. My immediate thought when I looked at this, I said that's the most perfect choke point I've ever seen in my life. I said Donnie's fucked. You bring ships or any kind of large force in that choke point, you are a sitting fucking duck. And Iran is right there, son, right by that X. They can hit you all day and fucking night with ease. The most perfect example of a choke point, in my opinion, a choke point is a useful thing in warfare when a smaller force is taking on a larger force. To minimize the numbers, the ability to spread out, surround. That's the advantage of a choke point for a smaller force. Thermopylae, Leonidas, the 300. There were way more than 300 men there. They weren't all Spartans, but that's the story anyway. The main point is they were outnumbered 1,000,000,000 to 1. There was no chance of them beating all the men Egypt had come with. Or Persia, whatever you want to call it. But Leonidas took the men up there to make that sacrifice on purpose. He knew what it would do. He knew it would mobilize Greece, and it would unite the kingdoms, and they would want revenge. So he knew he was going to die when he went up there. Before he left, he knew he was not coming back. There was no chance. So what he did, he takes a small force to a choke point, where the larger force would have to funnel into, minimizing their numbers. That way the smaller force is facing basically the same amount of humans in front of them, because that's all that can fit. Then you had the advantage of the Spartans were probably the most fierce warriors on the planet, raised from childhood to do nothing else. I wouldn't have wanted to face one, because they went through violence and hardship that you can't imagine, even to get to the point to be called a Spartan soldier. So you have a slave force facing the Spartans, which were quite formidable. You basically have an army where every one soldier is worth, I don't know, 20 of the opposing force's soldiers in killing power. So the larger force is at a choke point. It gives the 300 small force a chance to do a lot more damage before it's over. Again, another map. This is one of the most perfect choke points I've ever seen. I don't know how you get around this. I don't care how big your military is, how many nukes you have, whatever. You go into that, you are a fucking sitting duck. And you gonna get blown up. So I don't see many Navy ships going through there, because they'll get hit in about 3 seconds. So escorting people isn't really an option right now, I wouldn't say. So I don't know what the fuck the right gonna do. And Iran could close this down for years, because again, it's a perfect choke point. And they right there. They don't have to move. They don't have to transport nothing. They can hit you all day and night, even if you ruin their electric grid. I mean, hell, they got enough oil to run all the generators in the world forever, even if you take down their grid. So you've got Iran. Iran is the brown, the dark brown at the top. They right there, baby, all along that, and right at the choke point. This is fucking bad. You got Oman right there. UAE is right there. Qatar, little island off of Saudi Arabia. And then Saudi Arabia, and it goes up to Kuwait and Iraq. But again, like I said earlier, real estate is everything. Right, Donnie? Location is everything in real estate. I don't know what you do with that. That's some Thermopylae shit right there. The Strait of Hormuz is a strait between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. It provides the only sea passage from the Persian Gulf to the open ocean. One of the world's most strategically important choke points, it says in Wikipedia. I did not read that before I saw the first map, and I said, oh my God, that's the perfect choke point. And then Wikipedia, the world's most strategically important choke point. What have you rubes done? I hate you. Justin, Iran says it now considers U.S. company infrastructure legitimate targets, including belonging to Microsoft, Palantir, Google, Oracle, NVIDIA, IBM. Well done, guys. You're on a target list now. Check it out. Greasy Pete, you're on there too. Well done. That's the beast, son. I know, Pete. You thought you were going to be able to run with the Antichrist, avoid that whole Armageddon thing, and you people were going to be all about world peace and all that, and surveillance utopia and oligarch utopia where you get just welfare upon welfare. But Pete, you're now on a target list, your company. That's the monster you've created. Good luck, son. That grease might give you away, though. You might want to dull that shine down or something. Iran might be able to see that on a satellite or something. You might get killed for that. Be careful. American-owned oil tanker struck by explosive drone boats near Iraqi waters, preliminary reports indicate. We already know that's true. We already know that's real. Again, the only footage we getting, son, from Chinese fishing boats. That is fucked up. That should tell you all you need to know right there as well. That it ain't going as well as they telling us. Again, hence the American, the Thai, and the other boat. I think it was a Greek boat. Burning. This is a nightmare. I don't know how anyone gets out of this, man. An American oil tanker has been successfully struck in the Persian Gulf near Iraq using a sea drone. We continue to hold the American pedophile regime accountable for its terrorism and aggression without hesitation. This is Iran Military Monitor. Again, Iran has several accounts that they post from. Don't sound like they surrendered, Donnie. They talking shit and blowing up boats. And you ain't doing shit because you can't. You can't send the Navy in that choke point. Because we're going to be seeing footage of sunken naval vessels if that happens. And that's why they're not there. They're not escorting. They can't. Choke point. The best one I've ever seen. Here's one of the pictures. That looks great, huh? Excursion, Donnie says. Just an excursion. An excursion with mushroom clouds. No big deal. I mean, look at this fire. It looks like the fucking pit of Hades. That's Donnie Shitbags. That's the Reich. And they say they got it all under control. It's great. Iran has nothing left. We got it all. We won. It's, you know, it's basically over. They surrendered. I don't know. I'm seeing boats on fire. I'm seeing ports at Oman on fire. I'm seeing ruined Israeli neighborhoods. One of the ships on fire in the Persian Gulf is a U.S.-owned Safe Sea Vishnu, according to tanker trackers. The other one is the Greek-owned Zephyros. 2 oil tankers are on fire after being attacked in the Persian Gulf off Iraq. According to Reuters, it's unclear who carried out the attack. Yeah, that's an excursion. Not to mention the pollution this is all going to cause. Sunken boats in the Gulf and in the Strait, that would probably affect navigation and stuff as well because of running aground issues. Instead of running aground, you'd run a boat, I guess. This is insane. VA begins effort to put homeless vets into guardianships. This is the New York Times. What is it with Donnie and the Reich? Making lists, wanting to round up the homeless. Does Donnie seem like a guy who cares about the fucking homeless? He cares about seeing the homeless and the nuisance of seeing them. I get that. He's made that quite clear. So we know Donnie's psyche. We know he doesn't care about the homeless whatsoever. He just killed 175 children. He's a pedophile and mass murderer. So why would you want to round up homeless vets? Forced into involuntary or institutional care. That's where they go with the homeless. That's what someone just tried to do to me because they thought they were right about me. There's a thing called disinformation. You should learn about it. We hear the Reich say they're going to open up insane asylums. We hear the Reich say, and by the Reich I mean Donnie, they're going to open up a bunch of concentration camps. As they're saying these things, they deploy the military and others to go out and round up the homeless. Now they're in court, trying to get it to where they can involuntarily round up homeless veterans. When I hear concentration camps are going to be built, when I hear we're going to go back to old school insane asylums, because what else would Satan and his anointed beast be about but that? Terrorizing people, putting them in camps, in asylums. You know where all the people in the Reich belong? Because they're sociopaths, murderers, pedophiles, thieves, criminals. Where many of the people that support them belong? Because they're sociopaths. Some of them are pedophiles. Some of them are criminals. Nope, that's what the devil and Donnie want to do to you. That's what they want to do to the homeless. That's what they want to do to ethnic minorities. In fact, that's what they've been doing to ethnic minorities. Donnie's in court trying to get the protected status taken from the Haitians. These are the priorities. Building camps, buying camps, civilian response force, making it illegal to be homeless. That gives us the right now, the right. That's where it's been going for a little while now. I don't know if you noticed. To round up homeless people and do whatever we want with them. Put them in an asylum, whatever you're fit for. Exterminate them, put them in a camp, make them work. Just like Adolf. Exactly like Adolf. What does it say again? Take a look at it. Let's read that again quickly. VA begins effort to put homeless vets into guardianships. Why would we need to do that? More homeless vets could be forced into involuntary or institutional care. Institutional, you say? Exactly what I expected. The Reich making more lists. The Reich rounding more up. Just like Adolf. Ethnic cleansing. Rounding up of the homeless. Undesirables. We all know what happens next in the story, don't we? Camps, slave workforce, extermination, insane asylums, deportation as punishment, even U.S. citizens to Rwanda, to Sikot, wherever. Do you realize the goddamn nightmare you are in, son? It could happen to any one of you anytime if the Reich decides they don't like you. And it's been quite obvious, the right wing, and especially the MAGA movement, the drive by Nutlick and all the rest of them, Besson, is to make a lot more homeless. Have you noticed? Why? Because that gives them the right to do this. Because it's illegal to be homeless. We can just take you, throw you in an institution. And I know you MAGA folk and all the people of the right that are utterly of Satan, you only have the homeless best interests at heart, right? You want to help them, right? No, you're of Satan. You want to lock them up, son. And you will goddamn burn for it. Hot. Cunt. That's a promise. Am I almost done here? Oh my God. Let me take another break. We can just go in and take the guns, right, Pam? Right, Donnie. Hey, I'm going to deploy the military, and they say, you know, Vlad might come here. He doesn't have homeless people laying around. Adolf Hitler didn't have homeless people laying around. I don't like to see it. I want it to look nice. But let's create a few billion more homeless with our policies intentionally, because we need a slave workforce. Again, what the fuck have you people done, man? That's why I fucking despise you, and I always fucking despise you. My cigarette broke. Hey. This is interesting. Choke points again. In 1980, when I was a university student, my international affairs professor said the most likely cause of World War III will be a blockade or closure of the Strait of Hormuz. He said it's the most important place on Earth because of the large amount of oil that passed through it every day. World War III, you say? College professor, 1980. And we just happen to most likely be in World War III because I don't think this is going to end very soon. And it's affecting the world's economy and the whole Middle East. So yeah, it could totally start World War III easily. Easily. Liam Neeson adds, and it's not just 30% of the entire oil supply. It's also 50% of the fertilizer we use to grow our food and a bunch of stuff required for building our microchips like helium, a few hundred cheap naval mines, and the business plan of half the goddamn planet stops working. Yeah. Which equals what, class? World War fucking III. And no food. But that's what they're looking for, honestly. And by they, I mean the Reich. This is Laura Ingram, and she's talking to Secretary Wright of the Reich. Mr. Secretary, 3 ships near the strait were hit by projectiles over the past 24 hours. What now, asshole? I added that part. Well, what now is, I think you have seen what Iran is all about. Oh, so you don't know what the fuck now? Exactly what I've been saying. That's great. That's the Reich talking, by the way. They're the ones in charge. We understand that history, but what now? They are launching projectiles still at ships. We have an insurance market still messed up. How do you break this logjam? There is no way to break it. That's the point. The most critical thing right now is U.S. military degrading their ability to project power. It will take us some time to do that. Yeah, we've noticed. Again, Donnie said they surrendered the other day. We got boats on fire. We got Laura Ingraham panicking like my portfolio going down. My buddies in the oil companies are pissed off. The whole world's economy's fucked. The market's going down. Boats are on fire. Got a plan? No. Oh, here's Donnie tonight. He did a little night interview. And guess what he said at the end of his comment? The Straits are in great shape. Literally, as he's saying this, the literal same moment in time, there are 3 ships on fire. And again, the fire looks like the pits of fucking Hades because it's an oil boat. As he's saying this, do you understand how fucked we all are? How doomed we are? The Straits are in great shape. Tell that to the boat captains and the companies again that own the oil and the crew. And the dead soldiers. And the boats that can't go through. And the manufacturing facilities that produce the oil, ship it out, shut down. And again, the boat's on fire. The Straits are in great shape, says the fucking Antichrist. Really? Because it looks like they're on fire to me. And no boats are going through. That don't look like great shape. Looks like you cunts don't know what to do. You stepped in a huge pile of shit that's probably going to cause World War III. U.S. struggles to evacuate American personnel from facilities under fire in Iraq. This is ABC News. So now we got soldiers and people trapped at bases and they can't leave. And they taking strikes. And we got Pete and Donnie to figure it out. The American military cannot leave Iraq. With an order to evacuate bases 10 days ago, military cannot leave and remain under intense fire from Iranian drones and local Shiite militias. Iran managed to open fire against almost all American bases in the region to the point that the military had to abandon these bases in a $1 billion loss. Patriots were powerless in the face of the number of attacks. However, I believe that the anti-drone systems of these bases were not strengthened for an eventual confrontation with Iran. No, there was no plan. There was no preparation. Bibi wanted to go in, and Donnie's like, okay, let's do it. Again. Hence World War III. Hence people trapped at bases that were ordered to be evacuated 10 days ago. Hence some bases that were abandoned because they're all fucked up from Iran. Don't sound like it's going well, son. It don't sound like Iran surrendered. Later I will write how this redraws the role of American military presence in the Mideast and completely broke the confidence of Asian countries in the American ability to give them protection. Yeah, Iran sits on the Strait, son. They can do this all day. They have the leverage right now. They got the world over a barrel. And there ain't dick Donnie can do about it. This is horrific. And again, I told you way, way, way back when this Reich began, as Donnie and Pete go around the world bombing this, bombing that, they're going to come across some people that are smarter than them and that know what they're doing. And we're going to be fucked, and they're going to be fucked. And the world going to be fucked. Here we are. We're fucked. Just like I thought. And Pete and Donnie shaking every day. It's obvious they have no clue what to do. And all they can keep saying is, we're going to hit you harder than ever. It's going to be the biggest bombing run ever. That's all they can do. And it stops nothing. Obviously, with the ships burning. And American bases being evacuated, abandoned, and the ones that some people are caught prisoner there, they can't leave. Wait for the next missile or drone to come along. Waiting for the Reich to come help them, right? Good luck with that, son. Shit, all the people across the Middle East that work for the government, they're basically tell, you're on your own, fuck off. Oh, here's a hotline. You called a hotline. The American government will not be evacuating anyone right now. Fuck you. Goodbye. Dead serious, and that's all they ever got. So if you're waiting for Donnie and Pete to come save you, oh my God. You'll be waiting a long motherfucking time. Here's Donnie again in a night interview. We could take apart their electric capacity within 1 hour, and it would take them 25 years to build it. Again, Donnie, and they could close down the strait for 10 years. What the fuck are you going to do about that? Nothing. So bomb them into the Stone Age all you want. They're still going to have enough weapons, missiles, drones, etc. capability to hit the strait all day, every day, forever. So Donnie's playing a real dangerous fucking game here. And he's losing. And again, we got to remember, people, they took out 40 or 50 of the highest level people in that country. Now, you're not only taking out individuals. Every individual is a tree with branches that branches out to family, friends, loyalists, all of it. So you take out the 40 to 50 top people in a country, you're going to have a lot of mad motherfuckers. And they ain't going to forget about it next week. So, you know, I expect Iran to fight for a while here. They mad, son. They real fucking mad. Imagine America and our top 40 to 50 leaders got taken out, and the rage that would just have for a percentage of the population. That's what we're dealing with. Trump. Most people say it's already been won. It's just a question of when. When do we stop? We don't want to let it regrow, and ideally we'd like to see somebody in there that knows what they're doing, so they're going to kill the leader. They're going to make it worse if they can get to him. Here's Donnie again saying we've already won. And literally while he's saying it, there are ships on fire over there. Military and others cannot get off of bases. There's no one to help them, and they're taking shots. Other bases have been abandoned. Radar installations have been hit. American bases have been hit. Consulates have been hit. Oil refineries and oil work over in the Middle East all over the place been hit. Multiple countries been hit. Boats on fire. Strait fucking closed. What did Donnie say? Most people say it's already been won. Really? Because it looked like you losing, son. Holy shit. This was Donnie in the daytime. Quickly. We're almost at the end here. Finally. Landers, that's the reporter, I guess. Why'd the FBI seize election records in Arizona? Trump. They probably thought the election was rigged. No, Donnie wants the election to be rigged. He can't live with the fact that he lost. So we're going to do this. Where they say Georgia and Arizona and the other swing areas were all rigged. So therefore we got to police it. Therefore no elections, whatever. We all know where this is fucking going. Landers, it wasn't though. Trump, how do you know? Landers, your own AG said it. Trump, if you say it wasn't rigged, you're a rotten reporter. Landers, where's the evidence? Look, the second he went into Georgia and seized the voting information, I knew what it is, or what it was. And now they over in Arizona doing it. Again, no more elections, son. If we have the facade, they will be rigged. If we don't have them, they send the military out. That's why they on the military bases, Bondi and all of them. It's over. They telegraphing once again these raids on these voting institutions. Look, this has been litigated in court. There have been recounts. Many of the judges were Donnie's own appointees. Many Republican judges all said, yeah, the election was not rigged. Biden won. You lost. Fuck off. It wasn't just a bunch of liberals saying it. Now he's going to put people in jail and end our elections and rig them because of an election he lost. And he's afraid you guys don't like the Reich. So was Adolf. That's why he needed fascism too. Just showing you what he's going to do again. All right, we're at the end. The Malta-flagged 50,000-ton Greek-owned tanker and Marshall is flagged 74-ton American-owned tanker is on fire in the anchorage off Iraq. So they were at anchor, I guess. It is suspected these ships were hit by Iranian unmanned surface vessels. The ships were involved in a ship-to-ship transfer when hit, and rescue craft are on scene. These two tankers carry approximately 400,000 barrels of oil. Again, this is what the fire looks like, the pits of fucking Hades. And I guess these boats were at anchor waiting for the strait to open. And Iran or their proxies somewhere else said, you know what? Let's send a message. Rod Filipkowski says, I'm sure Trump anticipated all this and has a great plan because he's a master strategist, right? There was no plan. It's obvious on Pete and Donnie's face every day. They scared. They don't know what to fucking do. All they can say is we're going to hit them harder. And then, again, we're at the point where boats are on fire. And the whole world's economy is fucked. And it is quite obvious that Donnie and the Reich have no idea where to go with this. This is a perfect formula for World War III. That professor was right. That this strait alone could start World War III. And all it took was the Antichrist coming to power, thanks to you great people. And you know who you are. And his KGB handler. And his Israeli handler, who both have utter compromat on Donnie. Again, if we've all wondered how Armageddon, how World War III could happen, you're watching it. Could easily happen from all this. And I keep hoping every day we ain't in the apocalypse. I'm wrong. He ain't the Antichrist. And every day he shows me he is. And that we are in it. And I was thinking how I needed to make the point again. I am different than all the other people you watch and listen to. Because I didn't want to be right. I'd be quite happy to be wrong. I want to be wrong. It doesn't look like I am. Don't take the mark. Have a wonderful evening.